Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. And we'll give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, which consists of you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, who were scattered throughout the earth in slavery, man. And a remnant of you are the elect, all right? 1/3 of you, okay? The other 2/3, you're going to be destroyed, okay? Which is why we preach in this, word of repentance to those of you who will come out of your wicked ways and repent and turn back, all right? Which we're destined to turn back anyway, all right? So today, I want to go into, a lesson about, because, there's a lot of Israelite camps out there talking about how they're saying that, after World War III, that Russia, or after we're in the kingdom, all right, once we take the kingdom, that, Russia is going to come back and whoop our ass, okay? Which is not true, okay? Because we got next, all right? This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." All right, I got news for you out there who are teaching this false doctrines. All right, Esau, Edom is not just these so-called white people here in America. It's also these so-called white people in Russia, man. All right, because Russia is also Edom and Esau. All right, America, Europe, Russia. Okay, those are Edomites, all so-called white people. All right. Are Edomites, right? And now there's some exceptions as far as, Israelite foreigners, right? So someone who may look like a so-called white person, but their seed on their father's side goes back to the 12 tribes. So that's an Israelite, all right? Who may not look like an Israelite, but they're still an Israelite, okay? All right, but the majority of these so-called white people, okay, are Edomites, okay? And the Russians are no exception, man, all right? So, yeah, Esau's going to come against Esau, all right? And we're going to go into this. We're going to go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. We're just going to start reading a little bit here and get some precepts and just kind of clear up any misconceptions. So we're going to make this, Lord willing, short, sweet, to the point. Right, just bear with me. We're going to start at verse 18. We'll just start right there. It says, "And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog," all right, who's Gog? Is the Russians, okay? Because if you read the beginning of this chapter, let me see here. Yeah, so let's go up to chapter 2, or verse 2, Salakia. Verse 2 says, "Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog." Okay? The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right? Because it's talking about the land of Gog and Magog. Okay? Because, or Salakia, the land of Magog, right? Which is talking about that. It's saying the land and not the people, because, there was ancient Magog, okay, and that was those people, but the scriptures are twofold. So it's also talking about in the future how there's going to be so-called white people living in this land of Gog and Magog, right? And so that's why it's referring to the land and not the people, okay? So now let's go back. And we're going to go down to where we left off here. Let's see. It's going to be verse 18. "And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel." There you go again, the land. Because, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the true people of Israel. Okay, but we're not in Israel because the scriptures say we will be scattered in all nations, right? So who is in Israel? A bastard. Okay, these Amalekites, again, so-called white people. Okay. Saith, okay, so let's read it again. And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that my fury shall come up in my face. Okay, and we're going to get a couple scriptures here. We're going to get a precept to this. This is Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6. And it reads, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Okay, so that bastard is none other than these so-called JEWs, okay, who are, of course, you got the elite of them, and then you got the regular everyday JEW walking across the street of Israel, okay, who look like this, okay, which is why, we know that those aren't the people because, as one of the leaders in the Middle East, I forget which nation said it, but he said basically, the Israelites, they left black and they came back white, okay, which we know according to the scriptures that this is the true image of Yahushua, man. He's a so-called black man with a white woolly beard and white woolly hair. Okay, so how did that turn into this? Okay, because this is the devil that the Bible speaks of, this nation of people, all right, the Edomites, the accusers, okay, which, they lie, they steal, they cheat, that's basically their whole heritage, man, is lying, cheating, stealing, and, using the sword to gain power in this world, because they have nothing to offer the world, so the way they rule is through the sword. Okay, so let's go back here and let's get another precept. It's Jeremiah 49 and verse 20. All right, and it says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who's the least of the flock? Okay, is these Amalekites, these so-called JEWs, okay? It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And where is these JEWs' habitation? Okay, the land of Israel, okay, which is right here. Okay, so, they're living in our land, okay, which they stole from us. But they're going to make this land desolate because what's going to happen is they're going to piss off the Russians to such an extent that, they're going to invade them. And of course, ultimately, the nuclear missiles are going to hit there too. Okay? So we're going to keep reading about that in Ezekiel 38. All right, Lord willing. Let's see here. 38. Let's go down to verse 19. We're going to continue off here in verse 19. It says, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. Exactly. Right, like I was just saying, Babylon is not going to be the only place hit by these intercontinental ballistic missiles. It's also going to be the land of Israel. The land, not the people. Okay? Right? That's the key to understanding this. All right? And then we're going to go down to verse 20. And it says, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall on the ground. All right? Yeah, everybody's going to feel it. Everybody's going to feel the pain when the missiles hit. All right, you're going to have the earthquakes. All right? Which, that's there's a good precept to that in 2nd Esdras. So let's go into the book of 2nd Esdras real quick. 16, verse 12, and it reads, The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea riseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. You see, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he's the one who put it in these Edomites' mind to create the thermonuclear missiles, okay? And he's going to use it against them. And he's going to use their own weapons against them. All right, let's read verse 13 as well. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. All right, and what type of arrow can be shot from one end of the world to the other? All right, that's none other than the intercontinental ballistic missile. Okay. All right. These are also known as the bright arrows, right? The scriptures say, make bright the arrows. Okay. That's what it's talking about. All right, so let's go back. And let's read verse 21. And it reads, and I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. And that's, where you're going to have all these wars and all that, which we go to 2nd Esdras. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras real quick. It's going to talk about that. Okay. Second Esdras, chapter 13. We'll start at verse 29. And it reads, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. All right, yeah, you're going to have class wars, race wars, civil wars, all right? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, right? And it says one realm against another, all right? Verse 32, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Which is none other than Yahushai. Okay, which the scriptures say, you can remember that scripture in Acts, where it's the disciples are talking about, they're looking up at Yahushai, and the angel said, the same manner in which he went up, right? Something like that. Acts 1 and 11. Which also say, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. Right? So Yahushai is going to come down from the clouds, the same clouds that he went up into. And what are the clouds? All right, the clouds are the UFOs, the so-called UFOs, the chariots. All right? And where were we here? Yep, as a man ascending. Verse 33, and then all the people, and when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. Verse 34, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. All right, you can read about this, I believe, in Revelation, if I'm not mistaken, Revelation, the 12th chapter, where it talks about how, all the nations going to come up against Yahushai, All right, which, you know, the Lord said he would gather all the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Yehoshaphat. Let's see here real quick. I don't know if it was Revelation 12 or which one it was, but anyway, the point is, you know, Yahweh Shah is going to gather those nations together. All right, so they're going to all be fighting each other during World War III. You got NATO, EU, all right, BRICS, Russia. They're going to be fighting each other. And when they see Yahweh Shai coming in the clouds, it's going to be like what that one president was saying, how, oh, if there was a threat from another planet, like aliens, wouldn't we all come together? Right? Which is foreshadowing of what they're planning to do, really. All right, they have this Third World War, all right, set up that way because really they want to fight Yahweh Shai. All right, so they're going to stop fighting each other. They're going to all come together, right? They're all going to hold hands. And then, and then what's going to happen, man? All right? It says, verse 33, and when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Sion, and Sion shall come and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. Verse 38, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, in the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto me. You see? So without labor means it's going to be easy, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy them easily, man. He's going to wipe out all these nations, man. All right? And, you know, that's a beautiful thing. And Gog's armies are going to be included in that, right? Russia's army is going to be destroyed too because he's over there. All right? And they're going to be in Israel. They're going to be in, you know, wherever they're going to be fighting against each other. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to wipe all them armies out without labor, man. The Lord's not going to break a single sweat doing it. All right? So, you know, they're going to be over here fighting. And then Yahweh Shai is going to return. And then they're going to, you know, they're going to be like, oh, let's fight him, right? They're going to all get together. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy them. All right, so after those armies are destroyed, right? Okay, this is when the nukes come out, right? Because think about it, you know, once all the manpower and all the, you know, airplanes and all that's destroyed, you know, that's when Russia's going to want to use their nukes against, you know, against Babylon. Because really they have no option once their armies are destroyed, right? Which Yahweh Shai going to destroy their armies, right? And so, let's see here. All right, so that's going into something else. So now, let's go back to Ezekiel 38, verse 21. We're going to read verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. You see, so again, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to plead against the armies of the Russians. Okay, and not just them, but all the armies, really. It says that I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, right? Which bands are, you know, these armies, these different armies that come together. Okay, because you got the Russians coming together with, which you could read this at the beginning of the chapter. All right, it talks about how actually I got it here wrote down. Let me see. It's you got Sheba and Dedan, Let's see here. Verse 13 talks about Sheba and Dedan, the merchants of Tarshish, right? Which these are the Ishmaelites. So you got these Arab countries and you got Spain working together with the Russians, okay? It says, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Right? Because the Russians are going to get pissed at, these so-called JEWs, and they're going to come against them to destroy them. And so, these are going to partner together with the Russians, right? And so, you also got BRICS over there. Okay, so there's many bands, many armies coming together to fight with the Russians. Okay, and we were looking up, me and some of the brothers were looking up, breaking these down, and we just found out that Spain buys a lot of their gas from Russia. Okay, and we know that Europe is the bottomless pit. So, in the Bible, all right, so they can't produce anything in Europe. So they have to export everything or import everything from Russia, which makes perfect sense as to why, it's going to be basically the East versus the West. All right, so Babylon's going to be, isolated. They're going to be out of the picture. All right, and these are all going to come together. All right, so let's go back here. We're going to read that again. Verse 22, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, all right, all those armies, and upon the many people that are with him, all right, and overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone, okay, which that was what we was reading about. The Lord shall destroy them without labor. Okay, which again, there's even another scripture in 2nd Ezra which says, that the Lord shot tempest out of his mouth, fire, all right, which, that's how these armies are all going to be destroyed. So if all these armies get destroyed, okay, how's Russia going to come back and attack us in the kingdom when we're in the kingdom already? After we've overcome all the armies of the world, all right, Babylon gets destroyed. Israel gets destroyed. The nation, the lands get destroyed, right? Okay, who's left to fight us, man? And even if there was anybody left to fight us, who's going to fight us? We're going to turn into gods anyway. We're going to have spiritual powers, man. All right, one of us could be able to destroy the whole world alone. There's going to be 144,000 of us plus the rest of the elect, the angels, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I mean, you got to be out of your mind to think that they're going to come up against us with that type of power on that day, man. All right. Verse 23 says, thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, yeah, because after that great scene, after all that happens, okay, who's going to want to come up against us? All right, so now we're going to go to the next chapter. We're going to read a precept to this, of what's going on in the kingdom. All right, so this is Ezekiel 39. We're going to start at verse 9. And it reads, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the handstaves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire for 7 years. You see? Okay, because, they're not going to learn war anymore. Okay? What's going to happen is, we're going to be in the kingdom, and we're going to destroy all these weapons, man. There's not going to be any more of these weapons because there's not going to be a purpose to go to war anymore. Okay, that includes Gog's weapon, Gog and Magog's weapons, man. All right, let's go ahead and let's get a precept here. We're going to go to Isaiah 2, verse 2 through 4. Oops, Salakia. Isaiah 2:2. It reads, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. All right, a mountain means government. Okay, so our government, the Israelite government, is going to be established at the top of the mountains. Meaning, you're going to have these other kingdoms out there, but we're going to be at the top. All right, like it says in Second Esdras, man. For Esau is the beginning, or Salakia, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, and what's going to happen when we're established? All right. It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Yeah, because they're going to want to come learn from us. All right, we're going to be at the very, very top, the pinnacle, man. All right, verse 3 says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, Ba'ashem El Shai, to the house of the God of Jacob. All right, the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai from Jerusalem. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. You see? So when Yahweh Shai returns and we get the kingdom, okay, there's not going to be any more wars. Okay? No nation will learn war anymore. They're going to turn their weapons into basically plowshares and pruning hooks, meaning they're going to go from going to war, which is what they're doing now under Esau's rulership, going to war, fighting, and they're going to turn into workers and laborers for us, all right? They're going to be our servants, okay? All right, neither shall they learn war anymore. Very simple, man. Not, neither shall they learn war anymore except for Russia. No, it's not what it says. So, go back. We left off here. Let's read 9 again. It says, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, the handstaves, the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. Verse 10, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai. That's right. So at that point, we're going to be spoiling and robbing those that robbed us, man. We're going to get vengeance. Okay? Which it talks about that in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. And we're going to go to verse 16. And it reads, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Okay, who's one of our adversaries? All right, the Russians, man. All right, Gog and Magog. Okay, because guess what? They're part of the house of Esau, man. All right, just because they're fighting the other Edomites don't mean that they're not Edomites, man. All right, let's read that again. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Yeah, because we're hated among the nations, man. We're considered bottom of the barrel. Okay, and you can listen to some of these Russians, man. They think the same way that these Babylonians think about us, like we ain't shit. All right, so it's the same nation, man. It's Esau. All right, verse 18, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain, after the manner thereof. You see? So the Lord's going to bring the captivity of Jacob's tents again, meaning that we're going to have all nations under our feet again. Like during the time of, King David, is, it says he subdued the nations. All right. And we know that the nations were tributaries unto us. Okay. So they were paying taxes to us, man. All right. So the Lord's going to bring that back. All right. In a very powerful way, because, they're going to be serving hardcore bondage for that first 1,000 years. All right. And Esau's going to be serving it the worst, man. All right. And Gog and Magog is part of Esau, man. All right. So how is Edomites from USA, they're going to be serving captivity, but then the Edomites from Russia, they're going to somehow attack us? No. All right. It says, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap. Here we go, and here's the key. And the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. Meaning, it's not going to be attacked. We're not going to be attacked. We're not going to be taken over. We're not going to go back into captivity ever again. All right? All right, so let's continue verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog, who's that? The Russians, right? So-called Russians, a place there of graves in Israel. Okay, because remember, they were fighting over there. So that's where they're going to be buried. The valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude, see? And they shall call it the valley of Hamon-Gog. Verse 12, and 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Right, we got to get all these corpses out of there. Okay. Verse 13, yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown, the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So it's going to be a special day, man. All right, and like some of the brothers were saying, there's probably going to be a high holy day, when the Lord saves us from, from this captivity. Okay, and let's see here. Let's go to verse 14. It says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment. Okay, I want y'all to keep that in mind. All right, who's that talking about? That's talking about those who are going to be serving captivity. All right, but namely the wicked elite, the upper echelon of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, these international banking families, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Gettys, Bloombergs. All right, these guys that are trillionaires. All right, and even they don't even need wealth because they control other things as well. Okay, nevertheless they have wealth, they have power. Okay, but they're gonna be the first slaves. All right, when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gives us the kingdom, man, we're gonna dig them up out of their bunkers, man. After this third world war, okay, Yahushai is gonna use the chariots to burn them up, and then Israel and Babylon are gonna get nuked. Okay, and of course the wicked elite, they're gonna survive in the bunkers, but we're gonna dig them out. Okay, which we're gonna get a precept to that. Let's read 14 again and get a precept. It says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. That's going to be Psalms 149. Salakia. And we're going to read verse 8. Or we'll start at verse 5, and the point is at 8. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Okay? Because we're going to have the power on that day, man. We're going to be, punishing the heathen, man. And remember, they're not going to have weapons. They're going to have plowshares, and they're gonna have plows and pruning hooks, so they're gonna be ready to work. All right, we're gonna be ready to punish them if they get out of line. All right, verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings and their nobles with fetters of iron. Okay, the kings and the nobles, man, these international banking families, the elite, the upper echelon of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. And, ultimately, all the heathens are going to be our slaves, right? But they're going to be the first slaves, because these are the ones that are going to survive the destruction. Okay, and then through their loins, the rest of these everyday Edomites are going to come. And then they're going to be put into captivity. They're going to be the homeborn slaves, man. Straight from the womb to the field, man. All right, and that's beautiful, because that's what happened to us. And that's what's going to happen to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's what's going to happen to all you nations. All you nations, okay, that put the 12 tribes of Israel in hardcore bondage, man. All right, that's justice. All right, verse 8, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And we'll read verse 15. It says, in the passengers, all right, Ezekiel 39 and 15. It says, in the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bones, then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamongog. Right? There's going to be so many damn bones, all right, and bodies, they're not going to be able to get it all in time, or they're not going to be able to get it too quickly. It's going to take a long time. So, whenever they see bones, they're going to put signs there, all right? And, there's going to be a place, it's going to be filled with signs everywhere, all right? That's, there's going to be so many bodies of these, so-called Russians, and these Edomites, really, okay? Probably going to be bodies of these damn JEWs, right? All right, unless they get vaporized through the nukes. All right, but the one in question, the one it's talking about here is Gog, the Russians, man. All right, it says all of them are gonna be destroyed. So if all of them are destroyed, and the ones who remain are in the bunkers that go into captivity, how is anybody gonna be able to attack us? All right, it's just not gonna happen. All right. So, again, 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, we got next. So with that, I want to give out glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.